Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the BusinessLNK podcast. Today, we're going to be talking all about internship lifestyle here at the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce in the AOI Podcast Studio. My name is Caydence Corman, and I'm a junior studying advertising and public relations at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, where I spent the last 2 semesters as a student lead for the College of Journalism and Mass Communications. For the Lincoln Partnership for Economic Development, I'm a marketing and program intern.
Hi, my name is Sarah Malcolm. I'm a junior at Hastings College, where I am studying marketing, and I'm also a Scott Scholar out there. And I am also a marketing and program intern here at the Lincoln Partnership for Economic Development.
Hi, my name is Owen Long. I'm a senior at Nebraska Wesleyan University. I'm studying sport management and communications there, and I'm also part of the football team as I play linebacker, and I'm the sports marketing intern here for Visit Lincoln.
Awesome. Okay, Owen, so you go to school here in Lincoln. Where are you originally from?
So yeah, funny enough, I'm actually born and raised here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Lived here my whole life. It's kind of funny. A lot of people talk about wanting to get as far away as they can from the city or state that they grew up in when they decide to go to college. But for me, it was kind of the opposite. I wanted to stay here where my roots are from and just stay close to family as well.
Absolutely.
So, unlike Owen, I'm from a tiny town in Kansas, right on the Kansas-Nebraska border. But I kind of always just grew up doing the Husker thing, being a Nebraska fan, everything like that. And so my decision to come to Lincoln was pretty easy. I actually started as a nursing major and then changed to a marketing major. So I kind of bounced around a little bit, but Lincoln's always kind of felt like a second home for me.
Yeah. I am from a small town called Roca, Nebraska, just south of Lincoln. So kind of like you, Caydence, I grew up coming to Lincoln all the time. I worked here, I lived here, I had fun here in Lincoln. So kind of similar. I love being in the city of Lincoln as well. So
great answers from you both. So let's start with Caydence. We obviously have some pretty cool internships that we are all part of. But what kind of interests you about yours that ultimately made you want to apply?
Yeah, so last summer I actually worked in Norton, Kansas, which is right by my hometown, and I worked for the Chamber of Commerce there, and I absolutely loved it. Really loved that I got to bounce kind of back and forth between the Chamber of Commerce there, but I also got a touch of what the economic development side looked like, and I did a lot of marketing work there. I kind of did all various different things there, and I really loved it. And so I knew when I came back to Lincoln that I wanted to do something similar. And so that's kind of how I got introduced to all of this. And I just love it so much. What about you, Sarah?
Yeah, I also am a marketing intern. I love all things marketing. So in my high school, college, all the projects and classes involving marketing were my favorite. I love being creative. So like doing crafts as a kid, that sort of thing, that was always huge for me. And so I just love that I get to be creative in this position, kind of like figuring it out. And then back in March, a couple months ago, I also had a visit out here, kind of a job shadow here to the Lincoln Chamber, and everyone was just so sweet and welcoming. So that was also a reason why I wanted to work here at the Chamber.
Great answers from you both. Yeah, it's kind of funny. So being a sport management major at Nebraska Wesleyan, I feel like a lot of people think too broadly about the career path for it. A lot of people think, there's one path, it's to pro sports, college athletics. That's what you have to do. That's what you're stuck with. And so it kind of left me in class one day just thinking about, what do I actually want to do with this, because, obviously I love sports, but I don't really want to go down that route. What can I really do with my major and degree here? But then my boss, Derek Bombeck, came into one of my communications classes I was taking at Wesleyan, and he kind of did a presentation over his position and what he does here for Visit Lincoln. And so kind of just like outreaching to different sports, bringing those events here, helping out with Nebraska high school state sports, being very involved with all of those. And so it kind of just like, a little light bulb went above my head, and I was like, wow, this seems like something that I really want to be involved with in.
Yeah, I feel like what you kind of just touched on, like there's so much happening here that I feel like a lot of people miss out on. I think that's true to a lot of jobs, but I think especially in sports. So I'm so glad that you found something that you've been enjoying so much. Like Owen mentioned, we all get to do really cool things as a part of our internships. But Sarah, what has been your favorite part so far about your internship?
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of like I talked about, I love to be creative. So the ability to be creative in my position, just kind of like make my own decisions and have free reign with some of the things that I get to do is super fun for me, and it's definitely been one of the parts I enjoy the most. And then also I love talking to new people, meeting new people. So being a part of the Campus LNK and getting to meet the interns in Lincoln, that's been huge for me because I love meeting other people that are as passionate about Lincoln as I am.
Yeah, shout out Campus LNK. Those events have been really fun to go to. But yeah, so like Sarah, you mentioned, kind of one of my favorite things about the job is just being able to like communicate with different people, make so many new connections, but also too, like talking about sports, just being involved with so much, and then also too finding out just about how many different sports there are out there. Like there's more stuff than just football and basketball, and so just being able to be a part of those when they come to Lincoln, and then being able to just market off Lincoln as the great city it is to other like events in the States, and just telling them why they should come experience Lincoln has been pretty awesome. What about you, Caydence?
Yeah, like you guys mentioned, just the amount of people that we are introduced to, get to talk to, is something that I also thoroughly enjoy about this job. I also love how the chamber is a part of Visit Lincoln and LPED. Like we're all kind of sharing the same space, doing similar work. So I love getting to see like what all the different entities are doing. But I also love how every different entity kind of serves a different group of people. So like some of us serve investors, obviously, while others serve the people of Lincoln. But really, if you break it all down, all the different entities here, they serve the people of Lincoln, which I think is what I find the most interesting. And what I like the most about the job is I feel like we're really, truly serving the people of Lincoln, which I really enjoy. So.
Very well said. I also like that, and I just love the opportunities that we all get in this internship. But Owen, do you have a favorite part of Lincoln as a whole?
Yeah, I think my favorite part of Lincoln, just being able to have experience, it actually is the community here. A lot of people say Lincoln is a big city with a small town feel to it, and I couldn't agree more with that. It feels like every corner you turn in Lincoln, there's a smiling face waiting for you, welcoming arms, and just like how supportive the community here is in Lincoln, and not just that, around Nebraska, there seems to be this like pride and like supporting like different events going on here. And, I'll use sports for an example here just because that's my world right now. And so definitely the sports in Nebraska, like, the Huskers, obviously football, volleyball, just seeing how much support like the entire community in Lincoln and then surrounding areas from different smaller schools like Wesleyan and Hastings, like going out to support the Huskers as well. Just that pride that the community shows has just been awesome.
Yeah, I think you couldn't have said that better. I, not being from here, obviously that's something that I've taken a lot of notice in, is just the amount of pride and the amount of care that people have, whether that's in small town Nebraska or a city like Lincoln. The people here really do make the biggest difference in everything. I kind of would describe it to people as like a culture that you don't want to miss out on. Like you want to be here because the people here want everything to be the best that it can be. And that's just an attitude that I want to constantly surround myself around. And so I think that's what I love so much about Lincoln is just you're constantly surrounded by people who want to make everything the best that it can be.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys hit the nail on the head. I agree with everything you said. Owen, kind of like you were talking about, I love how kind everyone is here. Like you can smile at a random person walking down the street and they'll smile back at you. And having traveled to different places, they don't do that there. And that was kind of a culture shock to me. Like when I go different places and they don't smile at you as you're walking down the street. So just that Nebraska nice. I love that. And then also Caydence, like you were talking about, I love how people show up for each other and they want to be there to support each other. Absolutely. Yeah.
Right on. So great answers, obviously, from the both of you. We kind of talked about our favorite parts of Lincoln, but what about Caydence, like a physical part of Lincoln? Like, is there a favorite like restaurant, attraction you like to go to on the weekends? What's a favorite part?
Okay, so my favorite part about Lincoln, beyond the people, is definitely a Nebraska football game. That's something that I got to experience, luckily, like at a very young age, and it's just like a different type of energy. Everybody there comes together to support. It's just so much fun. It's a whole day. It's not just like a couple of hours. It's a whole day of fun, and you're just surrounded by the best people and obviously the best fans in all of college football. So it's kind of nice to be surrounded by that.
Yeah, definitely an electric feel at those events. You can't get that anywhere else. I have to say one of my favorite physical parts of Lincoln is probably just in the Haymarket, the farmers market on Saturday mornings. I love getting up on a Saturday morning. You get to walk around the farmers market with a cup of coffee in your hand. You know, there's live music playing on the side of the street, and there's dogs running around. And honestly, just being in the Haymarket in general, I love that part of Lincoln. I think it has just a great feel being down there. So
Yeah, Memorial Stadium and the farmers market are fantastic parts of Lincoln. I think I'm a big foodie, so there's so many different great restaurants around Lincoln, so many great different spots, and it was hard to kind of pin down one specific spot, but Isles Pub and Pizza, some of the best pizza I've ever had. The Leaning Flaming Tower is awesome. You definitely have to try it.
Well, if we're giving food recommendations, I would highly recommend a Philly cheesesteak egg roll from Pressbox. It's pretty unbeatable. But I guess now to switch topics from food onto a little bit more serious of a topic here. Sarah, where do you see yourself in the future, like in the next couple of years? Tell us all about that and what you see yourself doing.
yeah, that is definitely a loaded and big question. So you could ask me again tomorrow and I might have a different answer for you. But I definitely see myself settling in Lincoln. I want to end up here. I'd like to be doing in-house marketing work for a company here in Lincoln just to continue supporting the city that I love so much. And then I would like to start a family here. I'd like to have a husband here in Lincoln. It's just a safe, like family-friendly city. So that's why I would like to end up here.
Yeah, great answer. Kind of similar, I have always wanted to like travel and stuff, move different places around the U.S., but whether that stays true or not, ultimately I want to find myself back in Lincoln to, start my own roots, kind of like Sarah talked about, start a family here. I think it's just a great, safe city, and, we've talked about how great the people are here in Lincoln, so I think it's one of the best spots to raise a family. Career-wise, I think, I'd definitely love to just stay around sports, whether that be, kind of a role similar that I'm in now, kind of like outreaching, bringing different events here, or whether that be working for Nebraska high school state sports and just being able to help those events run smoothly. And then also too, definitely in my free time, I want to be able to become like a coach for youth sports, really any sports, just being able to use my knowledge and skills I've learned over the years and be able to just give back to the younger generations.
Awesome. I'm so happy that there's people that can share their athletic talent and ability, because I am not one. But in the near future, I hope to see myself here in Lincoln as well. Like you guys said, there's not a better city to raise your children in. There's not a better public school system than the one in Lincoln. So I really can see myself living here, starting my future here and life here and everything like that. Similar to Sarah, I want to do some in-house marketing work. So I think that would be super fun. A little less on the creative side like you, maybe more in the communications department, but still doing marketing work I think would be a lot of fun. I also have hopes and aspirations to maybe start a floral shop. So I might be the next ribbon cutting, but stay tuned. Yes, exactly. Well, thank you all so much for watching another episode of the BusinessLNK podcast.